Hi, everyone, and welcome to the weekly live forecast here with Ashala on Ashala Yardley's YouTube channel. Lovely to see you all. Welcome, welcome. I want to take a moment here at the beginning to share with you. I sent out a newsletter to all our subscribers on the website yesterday, and looks like a lot of those newsletters are going into people's promotion boxes. So if you are subscribed to the email mailing list and you didn't get an email from us yesterday, go check in your promotions box. I'm just going to bring up some of the highlights that were in that email. So one of the things that we were talking about, just want to make sure that my mic is, working good. One of the things we were talking about in that email is our new services on Eye of the World. So we have two new services that we've put up in the last month. One of them is an online personalized tutoring session with me for half hour. And those are, I'm not doing readings during those sessions. Those are for people that are working on the courses and need some extra one-on-one mentorship and guidance with their intuitive development, their their tarot courses, for example. So you can book a half-hour session with me there. Crystal and I are also doing ancestral healing sessions, and you can find the link to those on our services page on the website. And also, Crystal is now offering her tarot readings on the website. So let me just move it up a little bit here. You can see that, intuitive tarot reading, 1 hour and half-hour sessions that you can book directly through the website. Now, I hear you saying, Ashala, are you going to be putting your services up there? Well, I have a bit of a surprise for you. If you go over to the memberships area on the website, you'll see that we have now a new monthly unlimited tuition amount. We've got our annual unlimited tuition, and there's a 30% off discount on that till the end of March. If you want to go over to the discount code there and you can access that, it's right on the website. But this is what I really want to bring your attention to. I am doing 1 hour bonus tarot reading for anyone that signs up with this annual membership plus bonus. Now, these readings at this price, $222 Canadian, this is my basic price that I'm charging on our platform. So what you're getting is, in fact, a reading and a membership rolled into one, two for the price of one. I'm going to offer this discount ongoing over the next several months, so you don't need to rush into it. But if you're thinking about getting a membership and you also want a reading with me, this is your best option right here. So you get all the aspects that are included in an annual membership, plus a bonus 1 hour reading with me that you can schedule at your leisure. And then the last thing that is in the newsletter that I want to bring your awareness to, everyone, and then we'll get right down to business here, is over here in the easing section. Yay! We just put out our volume 2, Spring 2026, A Time of Renewal easing. So this is an e-magazine. It's free for everybody. You can just go onto the website, download it. It's right here. There are several articles in this magazine, this e-magazine. Oh, is it not sharing that? Oh yeah, there it is. It is sharing that. Good. There's several articles there that have been written by myself, by Crystal, and by my other daughter, Flo Reed. There's some protocols. There's some links to different protocols for spring. Really some thought-provoking content. So jump on over there and have a look at the easing. Aw, thank you, Early Morn. Yeah, thank you so much. We feel that it really is. We just keep adding more value to these memberships, and we want it to feel like a one-stop shop where you can come and you're like, yeah, I can do these virtual events, these Sunday socials that are live once a month. You can meet other members, like literally virtually over Zoom on these events. There are free tutorials. Yeah, meditations, all the courses. Gosh, there's close to, I think there's 16 or 17 courses on there right now. They're all pre-recorded courses and discounts on readings. So much stuff. Yeah. Aw, thanks. Thanks, Tammy. Yeah, I'm going to be offering this where you can get a reading with me plus the membership rolled into one, as I said, months, maybe even for the next year or so. Because I actually want to focus more on building content for the platform, but I also want to offer our members something special where they can have a reading with me. And so if you already have a membership and you're like, hey, wait a minute, I want a reading with Ashala, please contact us directly, email us, and you can set up a discounted reading. So whatever you purchased your membership for, that will be taken off the cost, and that's what your reading with me will cost. So all that housekeeping complete now. How is everyone doing? My gracious, we just keep saying, yeah, thanks. We just keep saying how extraordinary these times are. We've been saying it pretty much the whole time I've been doing this work online with all of you, and the last 4 or 5 years for sure. And it doesn't seem to change. It just keeps expanding into all these different possibilities of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I feel like we are in camp good, team good. And a lot of the rest of the world, unfortunately, is going through some shadow experience. And instead of feeling righteously like, well, good thing we know where it's at, it feels always most beneficial to send healing and send love in all those directions, because what's the point of being where we are in Camp Good if we don't share that? So it's a combination of sharing generously from the heart in whatever way feels meaningful and right for you, compassion, prayers, sending good, positive, healing energy, and also having good boundaries with yourself, even around, okay, I've taken in too much of that intense information. I need to back away for a few days, replenish myself, get back into a good state. We all have to find our calibration, our unique place with that practice. Yeah, early morning saying, I'm doing better today than I was yesterday. And that's how it feels. It feels like one day we're like, oh, yeah, I see the light is shining and I see the light at the end of the tunnel, or the lanterns in the tunnel, as somebody recently said. And the next day you can feel like you're back in the dark again. So when you're in that darkness, go inward. See the light inside. That's the time. It's almost like Spirit is saying, listen, we're asking you to look deep, look inward and see what's there. Also want to shout out to Suzanne, Sunshiny Grief. Thank you so much for sending me the downloadable version of this really cool backdrop. She said, I've designed a backdrop for you guys, and we just thought it was so beautiful. So thank you for that. All right, let us jump into the card layouts now and have a look at this week. See what, it feels to me like anything and everything is possible. It's a roller coaster of highs and lows at the moment. Gosh, I don't even have my rings on. I forgot them. Are they near here? Guess I'm going ringless today. As always, I was a bit too busy trying to do everything else under the sun. Tuning in with all of your energy. Let's send our root down to the beautiful center of our Earth home planet, which I see as a giant toroidal generator generating matter out of consciousness. Breathe deeply, send your root down there. Feel everything expanding in your awareness, deepening. Feel that rhythmic magnetic pulse of the center of our toroidal earth home. Feel it moving up through the soil, through the earth, through your feet and your seat, and then all through your body. Feel almost like that sense when you've been really overheated and your whole body is kind of thumping with your heartbeat. Feel that. That's the heartbeat of our earth home planet. Breathe deeply, relax into connecting with that precious heartbeat. And then from that safe, grounded place, bring your awareness out to cosmos, all around us in every direction, 360 degrees around, like surround sound. Feel the radiant frequency of loving light consciousness streaming towards you from all those, I want to say, reference points of reality surrounding our planet, surrounding us as individuals. And then notice now that your heart is balanced beautifully between earth and cosmos. And it is through this portal of the human heart, power neutral, aligned with the greater good of all, that we do these readings. We do them for ourselves as individuals, for our community, and on behalf of the entire human collective here on planet Earth. Here we go. Off to a good start. Now, we're going to be asking and answering a question together today about who gives the gift and who receives the gift, because this is the gift card. It's showing up as us in the house of Aries, the self, the ego, the identity, the gift, a gift, something tangible. So often this shows up as money, as material gifts of some sort. Sometimes they can even relate to new places to live, a big move, for example, buying or selling real estate, investments paying out. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? So we're starting off with the gift, and we're going to answer the question throughout the whole spread. Are we giving the gift? Are we receiving a gift? Taurus has us doing all the good Taurus things. Staying grounded. Taurus is the house of material resources, pleasure, experiencing in 3D, celebrating wealth, abundance, health, pleasure, happiness, music, good food, all of the things that we love. So, and this is the most Taurus card, by the way, probably. Check it out, Tauruses. Tell me if you think that Knight of Pentacles really resonates with you. Knight of Pentacles is the one that is just staying in his own lane, staying grounded, staying, I want to say productive, practical. It's very practical, not head in the clouds. In fact, if anything, his only major problem is he gets kind of just behind the plow. We used to say, you know, here's the furrows of the field that he's plowing in the distance there. If you can see them in that red field, the red soil. And he doesn't stop often to take stock of what he's created. So a good week to take stock of where you are. Even if you think that your resources are depleted or your energy is depleted, that the gifts in your life are depleted, this could be a very good week to literally do an inventory. Do a count of what your assets are, both physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. What are your assets? Take a moment to pause from being behind that plow and say, wow, look what I've done. Like, look what I've created. Yeah. Linda is saying, great John Denver song. The gift you are. Yeah. So many people are saying Beautiful artwork, Susan. Yeah, steadfast. That's it. Steadfast is what that Knight of Pentacles is. So in the realm of material, don't be distracted by the fast lane zipping by you. Oh, those people have more, or those people know where it's at, or I missed the boat, I missed the bus. Don't worry, there'll be lots more coming. There'll be lots more coming down the road. So just stay in your lane, focus on what you have, not on what you don't have, and focus on making what you already have richer. Okay, now Gemini is going to be a smarty pants. By the way, Taurus loves to have this kind of energy in their house. Good card for the Taurus house. Gemini is so, wow, pretty impressed having the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a lot to do with when it's related to intelligence, communication, thoughts, and ideas, it's schooling, it is higher education. So this could be a good week to choose some educational upgrades. And alternatively, if you already have education, maybe you're going to be designing some kind of educational offering for other people. It doesn't matter how big or how small that is. Everyone has something that they're good at that they can teach others. So this could be a week to reassess um, what you have, what skills you have that you could be teaching others, and also what you're ready to sign up to learn. Oh, oh, gosh, this I think is a group hug moment. Put your arms around yourself, give yourself a big squeeze, everybody. Yeah, group hug. Uh, Six of Cups in Cancer. Cancer is home and family. And, you know, this card, among other things, means memory lane, nostalgia. This could be a really great, we don't have anything specific planned this week in terms of family holidays, but if this were a family holiday week, it would be, yeah, a really fantastic week to get together with family. So interesting, some people get together over the Easter holidays. You might want to just either plan that this week or preemptively get together sooner than later. It feels like there is a beautiful energy. And if you can't be together, you know, um, getting out the old photos. Some of us even still have photo albums. Wow. But, barring that, it could be a really great week to go through your family photos digitally and decide if you want to print some of them off. It just feels like you're getting this energy of, again, there's a sense here with both of these cards about going back through the last few months, the last through years. Even I'm hearing the last 6 years. It's so interesting. I just had a conversation with my sister who lives out east, who I haven't seen in a while. We couldn't even believe it. It's actually been over 6 years. So we're going to see each other in April, which we're so excited. But just this feeling of time is flying by, and this is a really great week to have a sense of closeness and a little bit of nostalgia. So even if that is music, we're talking about the John Denver song, it could be nostalgic music that takes you back to a time, particularly related to your closest loved ones, your family and your closest friends, because this is the House of Cancer. It's also a great week to have friends over. Host a little, if a dinner party is too daunting, host a little lunch, host a little high tea. Yeah, have people over, visit in your home, not out. We're such a grab and go culture, right? We've become so accustomed to go, 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 go. And this is Bring it home. Have people come in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi, Ricky, Murdoch, a butterfly hummingbird. Oh, it's so great to see the crew. I'm so excited that you're here, all of you. Okay, it does feel a bit like home week. And now we are at Leo. And okay, probably two cards, maybe three, that would be the best cards to have in Leo would be the Strength Maiden, who is the lion tamer, the Queen of Wands, and the Sun. I mean, the Sun is the best card in the deck. It's auspicious. We got the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles. Something is happening this week. Be prepared for mini miracles. This is a incoming. Leo is about what we're saying. Yes, I'm ready. I got my arms open wide. I'm ready to receive, and the gift is on its way. Are you the gift? Is there a gift coming to you? Taking stock, feeling a lot of gratitude, a lot of nostalgia. Wow. I mean, yeah, we just did some cards this morning and it was kind of shocking. We got some of the stuff that was related to our old fears, our old patterns looked really yucky. But anything that was related to the next steps that we're taking was so auspicious. Like we had all these, the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles and other aces. And we were just like, wow. I mean, if you're open for it, Spirit, the universe wants to bless you this week. It wants to bless you. Oh. Okay. Now, notice this. We got a little bit of symmetry going on here. We've got two knights doing a face-off. Do you see that? We got the Virgo knight. So Virgo is jumpy and grumpy. No, I'm not trying to say that about you Virgos. I'm not trying to say that it's just Virgos this week that are feeling that way, but the energy related to Virgo, which is like, got to get everything, all the little details handled, got to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. That part of us, there could be constant disruptors around, these niggling details. These niggling details that just don't want to line up. So a feeling like we've got even more washes of a Mercury retrograde kind of aftermath hangover going on. And it's where I know I get like this sometimes where things are starting to improve and I'm feeling really hopeful and positive, and then something goes wrong with tech or something really annoying happens. Then I'm like, why did that have to happen and rain on my parade? Now I'm really mad and grumpy about that because like things were feeling so good. And now I'm like, it's juxtaposition, right? This is a juxtaposition to all this. It's like one of these things is not the same and this is it. And well, what can you do instead of letting this one thing disrupt all of this positive? How about bringing all of this positive to give some care to this one thing? Sometimes when we're on we're on the celebratory wave, we don't want to be brought back down to that other, but it's there. It's always running under the surface. So this week, instead of being kind of taken aback and off guard by that, welcome it. Be like, yeah, this is a perfect week to deal with that annoying niggling detail, to have that bureaucratic hoop jumping thing, because there's so much good energy in the whole ontology supporting us this week, that we can finish some of these things, clear them. So instead of being annoyed that it feels like out of alignment with all of this beautiful energy, invite it, welcome it, say yes, perfect timing. I'm so glad to bring this beautiful energy into this annoying thing. Do other people feel that way sometimes? Hi, Bink Molly. Nice to see you. uh, and Perla, yes, ready for blessings from the universe. And right on the heels of that come all the annoying, what is it, the goddess of misfortune, or more like irritation, all those things that you're just like, no, why does this have to spoil this good feeling? Let's not let it do that. You know, the one bad apple concept. We're really, even with the bad apple, sometimes you can, like, you know, bring it in and cut the bad part out and add it to the apple crumble. So everything has its purpose and its reason for showing up this week. And they're saying, please don't be discouraged. Oh, I mean, I've got to be the worst at this. Is Crystal on here? We got to ask her. Oh no, she's gone out. I get really irritated when things are going well and then something happens. I'm just like, what? How dare this thing come in and disrupt my good vibe, my good mood? So anyway, laughing about that and carrying on to Libra. Okay, so this is not, look at this, symmetry, symmetry. Two aces facing off against each other or towards each other. Uh-huh. Two knights. Look at that, facing each other. Opposite, opposite. Well, actually, these two aren't opposite, but they are absolutely directly facing each other. How exciting. Two of a kind, mastery. Mastery of the number one, new beginnings, reset, starting afresh. Mastery of the knights, being on purpose, being on path, you know, getting the job done. So this night is about it's the mental, all of the paperwork, all of the details, all of the tech, all of that stuff that we put off. I sure put it off until we absolutely can't get away from it anymore, or that we thought we dealt with it and suddenly it's gone awry. So tech disruption, very possible. Don't let it throw you off. It's just temporary, and it's a good week for this to happen. If there is a good week for it to happen. All right. Ace of Swords in the house of Libra. Libra, our relationships, our agreements, are really big, I want to say, commitments, our big commitments. What are we committing to? People sometimes have fear of commitment because what we're shown commitment looks like is I'm committing to this version of reality that was determined by the status quo. I don't really agree with it, but I'll commit to it because it's the only thing going. We can design what we're committing to. We can create our own vows. We can create our own agreements. We don't have to sign on the dotted line with everything. We can, you know, this has come up, hasn't it? The last 3 weeks, we've seen something to do with re-examining agreements, contracts, and redesigning them to be more in alignment with our yes, our absolutely yes, our big yes, not the okay, if I must, I'll agree to that. This is a commitment. And again, it doesn't have to be forever commitments. It's smaller commitments that you know you can stick with because you've made the agreement not out of pressure, not out of compromise. You've made it in full autonomy and sovereignty. So there's an advocating here. We'll see what else comes up. And this is also a time where we may feel more confident to make a big move towards a relationship, or a big change in a relationship. Okay, another sword. So we got a lot of swords over in this little section here. Now we've got the Page of Swords, messages, a messenger, messages about completion, Scorpio, endings and new beginnings, death and rebirth, messages. So again, watching the media, watching the messages, there could be quite a lot of this drumming up. Um, I think there's really something about holding media accountable for, okay, whatever the version of the truth is, whether you think you're writing the truth, whatever it is that you are expressing as your truth, um, even if you think you are reporting accurately on something, it's how you spin it. And it's just so disgusting to see the spin doctors, isn't it? Like, well, if you're going to say that, why do you have to say it like spell casting doom? Why not say it in a tone and a way that is about honoring life as opposed to like kind of inviting death and destruction? So we're going to be really noticing this week the spin doctor tone of things. You know what happens in relationships, right? People often say, it's not what you said, it's how you said it that upset me. It was the tone you used. That's it. It's all in the tone. And we could, yeah, I'm hearing media has a lot to atone for because it has utilized such a negative spin on everything. So, one way to look at news in general is if it's spun with that negative tone, it's probably out of alignment with the frequency that we're evolving towards in New Earth. We ought to be able to talk about anything with love and compassion, with a power neutral attachment, like non attachment to some degree, not about bypassing, but about like not spinning things so strongly. And this happens on both sides, right and left. It happens in politics, it happens in religion, it happens in social drama, cultural, family systems, relationships. It happens everywhere. And we're going to really have our radar tuned for this and say, yeah, I'm not listening if you're going to say it that way. Mm-hmm. Whoo-wee. Yeah. Move the table down a wee bit here. There we go. Okay, Sagittarius, Nine of Swords. Does not bode super well for travel trouble this week. Again, this isn't about doom and gloom. It is about clearing. I'm hearing the word clearing and allowing energy to come into calm. So if, let's just say, the world politics right now, if it was again, a relationship and someone went to a trauma healer, they'd say, okay, we're not going to get anything solved with everybody worked up like this. So we're going to start by getting everyone calm. So we've got to bring calm to the global energy field. We get to do that. And many of you are, yeah, I'm hearing like many of you came here interdimensionally through a lot of different timeline portals to be here at this time to do this exact job, this job, this job of decompressing the anxiety on the planet. You start with yourself. We can't do it super well out there if we haven't at least gotten some traction in our own lives. And then you send that out, you know. It's part of what you came here to do, is what I'm hearing. Hmm. Interesting. I was a military journalist, a graduate of the Elite Defense Information School, where we were trained very differently than this so-called media. Wow. Yeah. And well, there you go, right there. If you have any sort of martial arts training, if you have any sort of law enforcement, military training, what is the first thing? First aid, diffuse the situation. Like, the first order of business is to get everything calm, grounded, safe, right? So we are looking at, especially in peace times, right? If we're not banging the war drum, what is the opposite of that? It's decompressing all the fear, anxiety, rage, overwhelm, disconnection, grounding the disconnection, decompressing the anxiety. That's our job. So do it in yourself, do it in your circle of friends, and keep bringing this joy. Like walking down memory lane, inviting friends over, opening to receive these blessings this week. You could say, yeah, but it's such a juxtaposition. I'm receiving a blessing and this other part of the world is having this chaos. Bring that energy forward to share as a healing. Because you can, you must. That's your role. That's why you can. It's not just a privilege, it's a responsibility. If you're doing good, it kind of behooves you at this point to, of course, tithing and sharing and helping others, yes, but energetically to send that out purposefully. Yeah. Oh, wow. Check out the Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics. Current media gets a fail on all of them. Yeah. So we're likely, okay, this is another thing. It's one of my favorite topics is how the little ones end up sort of the meek inheriting the earth, for example. And I see it with things like online influencers. Like, it's sort of a joke, right? Where you see some of these mainstream news channels can't compete with the the alternative influencers anymore. Like, they don't get as many views. Awesome. It's awesome, right? It is beautiful that we can turn the tide literally we vote with our attention. Yeah. Your attention is like currency. And if we just stop opening any of those links with any of that news, if we just stop watching it, it's sort of like, you know, we really are. And I know many of you have already been doing this for years, and bravo. I feel like the more that we're building these alternative energy streams around, again, the way information is brought forward, the quality of that information, this is going to start to really pull the tide away from the, banging the war drum. Mhm. So interesting. Let's keep going. Whoa. Okay. So we've got right now 3 major arcana. We got Hierophant in Gemini, Sun in Leo. Ooh, happy day. And the Lovers in Capricorn. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is a lot about voting with your money, your time, and your attention. We're pulling the status quo our way. And what I'm hearing is just ignore the rest of it. I had a therapeutic healing session actually with Crystal. It was kind of spontaneous. And one of the messages that came through, it was about working with childhood trauma. And one of the messages that came through was I was being shown that to tap my throat chakra, I was shown almost like this beautiful blue button there, like a blue jewel on my throat. And I just tapped it and tuned back into my whole self, filled with joy and safe to exist from, and now safe to exist from this place. Um, and when I was doing that, I acknowledged that the perpetrators of my childhood trauma didn't know me. They didn't know this whole version of me. They knew a projection that they put on me, but they didn't know me. And I didn't know, I don't recognize them. They're not my family. I don't know who they are. That's an imposter. That is a projected energy. And so it was this sort of like, I'm not remembering this anymore. Body is forgetting it. It's not worth remembering. It's not worth remembering. And that's not just bypassing it. That is actually walking my body through a whole process of literally releasing those things, those memories, and bringing the memories that you want to remember in. How much time does media and all of this fear mongering, it just keeps taking us down these worn grooves of negative, 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 negative. No wonder we have a hard time feeling happy and positive because we're not feeding the happy, positive memory very often. Aw, thank you. Dens. Yeah, thank you. Um, that I'm pulling the cards one at a time. I did have several people that said, "That's too much. I can't keep up with you, Ashala. You're all over the place." So I will do them one at a time from now on. I still reference them with their cross points and everything else. Well, here is another cross point, interestingly enough. What number is this up here? Roman numeral 6. And what number is this down here? 6 on the bottom. So we have another pair. 2 6s, 2 aces, 2 knights. All of them not just paired, but literally squared. So this energy of pairing and squaring, it has a lot to do for me with a decision time of where we put our energy. And yes, we've been working, we've had the training wheels on for several years now, trying to learn how to choose where we put our energy, what we focus on, what we believe in, to be critical thinkers, to be sovereign, autonomous beings. We've been learning that with the training wheels on. This week, try a run without the training wheels. This is a week where you're going to test yourself and go, yeah, I'm going to look a big choice in the face and really see where I'm at. And you may be surprised that you're a lot more ready to make a big move in terms of standing in alignment with something that you believe, not just doing something because it's the norm, it's the status quo. I'm not talking about picking fights with people and trying to, wake everybody up and enforce your opinion on them. I'm talking about where we get to those points where there's decisions to be made and we can either go towards security and something that used to feel safe or predictable or not making waves, or we can go chart the course in the direction we really believe in. It feels like this week you could have a very big decision because Capricorn is, yes, purpose, life path. We've got Gemini, choosing what you're going to be focusing on, what you're going to be studying, and then seeing a path presented. The path might not be right in front of you this week, but you're going to see the choice point up ahead. It's coming within the next 6 weeks to 6 months. You're going to see, oh, here comes a choice point. Here comes a choice point. And as you're moving towards that, you're also bringing the very best of the past with you, your memories, your happy memories. And that's helping you decide where you're going in the future. And one of the things that's come through readings in the last few years, whatever you're deciding in the future, make decisions that don't limit your choices, the decisions that give you more options to pivot, navigate, maneuver down the road, as opposed to things where it's like, well, we promise you full security if you just sign here and give up all these rights. And this is what we're going to be seeing en masse. This, as we go more and more into the distortion of the fallout of these different agendas kind of competing with each other, we're going to see people that are so afraid that they can just be talked into anything. And then we're going to see people who are the more the agenda is enforced or brought upon them, or those like us, for example, right, when we were told we had to do this or else you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose all your security, you're going to lose all your friends and family and so on, and we were like, that's a big choice point. There's more of that coming in the next 6 weeks or 6 months. I'm not sure how that is. It might be digital IDs, it might be digital currencies, something along those lines, but we're going to see more of that rolling out in the next few weeks. So be prepared how you're going to pivot. And again, isn't it fascinating what happened for those of us that said no to the pressure, right? 6 years ago to get the jobs, those of us that said no to that, what happened? Because we had to face the possibility that that could change our lives forever. And of course it did, but not in the way we were worried about. I remember talking amongst us and being like, yeah, if I never travel again, if I never get to go in a restaurant again, like that was the kind of conversations we were having, right? And look what happened. Well, we are traveling, we are in restaurants. That happened pretty quick. So again, this is a no, I'm not going to do that. If that's what I have to do to travel, to have whatever it is that they're going to be trying to like use as the bait and also the pressure. It feels like we just need to step away from it long enough that enough of us do that, and then down goes that agenda, because our going along with things was what the only way it was going to work is if the majority of us did. Remember, there was months there where it was like, we have to get them in, we have to get every single person in this. Is like, yeah, right. So we're going to see choice points, and you're going to be ready to choose your side, to choose your direction, to choose your path. And again, I get the feeling you won't have to really force it as long as you think. But you've got to be willing, just like with boundaries with kids. You have to know that you can follow through, even if you don't want to. You got to know you can do it. Boundaries. Boundaries are going to be big. Wow. Yay. Ah, yes. Thanks, Lupo. I'll push back and say no again. I will not comply. Right? Thank you. And you're in good company. This is what we did. We all did it, and we'll all do it again. Why? Because what else is there to do? Right? We get this life, we get this vote, we get to vote with our direction, our decisions, our critical thinking, our sovereignty, our autonomy. It might not be fun for a while, but what else are we going to do? Because this is what we were made for. We came here to do this job. Wow. Okay. And we can have fun doing the job. I mean, I just think about, yeah, the people and my connections that grew together during that 2020, 2021, 2022. The solidarity that grew has remained ever since. I go to visit my friends that where I was living during the majority of that time. Um, I'll go back to visit my friends, and we won't go to any other restaurants, but the only one that would let us in. We're like, we've boycotted the rest of the restaurants for the rest of our lives. It's like, and I'm laughing because that's how easy it is to just vote with your energy. We're like, yeah, forget it. You guys were snooty, arrogant, you know what, and we're never coming into your restaurant again. Like, I don't care how wonderful it is. We are voting with solidarity, and we will do it again and again and again and again, and as often as is required. And as we do that each time, we solidify our community, we solidify and we strengthen. It's almost like the pressure of these decisions is weaving us tighter and tighter together, and that weave is a bond. It also makes us more impervious to all this crazy making stuff going on, right? Yeah, 3 of Pentacles in the house of Aquarius. Friends, networks, community, reputation, solid within your community. You know who you are, you know who your people are, and you're solid, and you'll be building new things. It might not start this week or this month, but there's going to be ideas percolating. And over the next 3 years. Yeah, Crystal and I have been saying we've got our own Agenda 2030. And it's pretty awesome. All right, final card. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa. The priestess in the house of Pisces. Again, it's kind of a slam dunk with Leo having the sun and the priestess in Pisces. Like, these two could not be happier placements. And the Hierophant in Gemini. What does that say? We've got 3 major arcanas in their happiest place. I think if the sun could choose any place to be on this wheel, it would be in Leo. If the Hierophant could choose any place to be on this wheel, it would be either in Gemini or Sag. And if the High Priestess could choose anywhere to be on this wheel, I think she's most exalted in Pisces. So that is telling me our major helpers are in position, ready to work for us. And why is that? Because we've done the work. We've done the work to make it all come into alignment. Now, many of you have done this consciously. You've done it courageously. You've done it fiercely. Some other people on the planet just are doing it unconsciously, but they're still doing the work. So you don't have to be awake and know what's happening to be somehow part of this wave of change. And the secret is we don't know how many of us there are. And you know what? It's better that way. Because, well, for one thing, energy and time is not linear. It's multidimensional. So if we were told, oh, there's this many of you on the planet right now, um, that information alone could either shut several of us off or distort the quality of what we're doing. We, it's sort of, again, I often say this, it's like we came here, this was the mystery experience. This was the, the secret. What is it? You go to the store and there's the mystery bag. You don't know what's in it. We're not meant to know exactly, but we can kind of peek and get some clues. So the fact that these 1, 2, 3, 4, well, at least these 3 major cards are really in their perfect alignment. I don't know about, yeah, I wonder where else the lovers might be beautifully aligned. I don't see them so much as a Capricorn alignment, but Capricorn is ruled by Saturn and it is about the discipline, the rules of the game. It's the laws of the universe and the rules of time and space. So we're going to, again, as I say, we're going to be looking at a choice point coming up. Um, yeah. Oh, Tammy, I agree with you. We should each remember how far we've come on those rough days. We were made for these times. We surely were. Sunnyshine Greece. Do you see the beautiful backdrop I have? Thank you so much. Yeah. So go Happy Priestess, just what we need now with the big shift coming. Yeah, let's wrap up with her and what do we know about her? Well, she is the master of the mystery. And the mystery is so much more going on behind this curtain. You ever noticed? I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see it. There's a little bit of water there. You can see behind. It's sort of like there's the ocean behind her. You can see the line there. Anyway, there's mystery here. And Pisces rules mystery in the subconscious. So all is not what it seems. And again, it does feel like we're being kept in the dark about what's really going on in so many ways. Because if we knew too much too soon, we might get too lazy or distracted or distorted by that information. So we're meant to be going forward like the super troopers we are, you know, and look at this, 2 sixes. Sixes is reciprocity, service to humanity. And remember I said at the beginning, we're going to be looking at which way does this gift go? Is it us giving it? Is it us receiving it? You guessed it, of course. I know you all knew that at the beginning, but I just wanted to see if there was some real evidence of which way this is going. Certainly, I feel the revolving door up here with this, lovers up here in Capricorn. We're choosing the direction. We're choosing where to put our time, our attention, our money, our energy. Really vote with your choices this week. Be very vigilant. Like I'm almost going to say, I'm going to throw the gauntlet down and say, can we all stay out of big box stores this week? Can we all stop shopping on Amazon this week? Can we all, I had a friend years ago, many years ago, decades ago, he and I decided to do this little game where we wouldn't open our wallet for as long as we could without opening our wallet. I mean, we were living in this beautiful community with gardens and everything, and he beat me. I got about 2.5 weeks, and then my younger daughter wanted a muffin. The rest at this little cafe that we walked by, and she wanted a muffin, so I bought her a muffin. I broke down for a muffin for my kid. But yeah, like what way can you vote around not acquiescing? Can you pay with everything with cash this week? like, challenge yourself to steer away in a really big way this week and go kind of like, "I'm sworn off of that. Never again." It's that kind of, like, big boundary setting. Aw, thank you. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Affirmation for the times ahead, looking at the brightness ahead. Wish there were more that we're following closer. Well, again, interesting, Fit for Life, that you're saying that, 'cause there's a secret here. There's a secret, and the secret is we don't know how many of them are actually on point. They just don't know it yet. I find this fascinating. I find where my not awake friends seem to be kinda keeping up in a di not all of them, and most of the ones that aren't, they're no longer really my friends. But a lot of my people that aren't necessarily really engaged in all of this, um, it seems like they're doing a lot of the same stuff. They just don't understand the big picture yet, but they're kind of in step with what we're doing. And they have their own version of why they're doing that, that's a little different than ours, but it really lines up nicely. So I want to say, yeah, we are actually, there's much larger numbers of growing consent around these choice points. Mhm. Like, just allow yourself to consider for a moment. I know a lot of you are like, "Oh, no, everybody around me is so sleepy. Oh my god, no." You know, they might say that when they're in an argument about a specific topic, but I'm guessing that if we had a similar scenario happen now than what happened 6 years ago, there would be very few people complying, and people would sort of, you know, spot the red herring a lot faster. They'd be like, "Wait a minute." So even though it seems like we're in the same kettle of fish, there is, oh, that's funny, 2 fish references, and we're talking about Pisces, by the way. It seems like we're in that, and yet there's a lot more positive momentum towards these pivotal choice points. So please don't be discouraged about that, is what I'm hearing. Okay, I'm going to pull a final Moonology card for this week because I've been doing that for the last card of the center point. And here's my Moonology deck. And I'm shuffling. I think they're so pretty. Ah, yeah. Oh, that's interesting, Fit for Life. My not awake family keeps looking at me curiously, though. Right? Yeah. Well, and also let's hope there are no events. Okay, I'm gonna just tease this out a little bit with your permission there, Fit for Life. I actually, and having been awake for, I almost said too long. Well, the too long is like everything before 2020 was too long. It was torturous. Um, After 2020, I've had the time of my life, because finally, right? So I think, I guess what I'm trying to say is, would another choice point or two that aren't as extreme, but have the same effect of opening a lot of eyes, would that be such a bad thing? Um, my personal feeling is I don't feel it would be. I feel that a couple of choice points coming up here would actually open hearts and minds more. Hmm. Okay. I pulled this one, which I pulled actually a couple of weeks ago. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. Wow. So, all even from that last full moon eclipse, even from that time, we are expanding exponentially here. There's a lot going on. Yeah. Conclusions are within reach. And these choice points, instead of being, I don't see they're going to be the way that was in 2020, where we go down, down, down. That was just kind of like the deep dive to get us acclimatized to deep diving. I don't feel there's really, I mean, knock on wood, knock on all the wood. I don't feel there's anything like that in the future. But I do feel there are more points that are about activating the power of our decisions, our choices, the power of choice. So, full moon eclipsed. Isn't that just so beautiful with the sun right beside it here? And that energy of, we have really, even since the lunar eclipse. So look at your life over what it's been, 2.5 weeks. Look at what's changed for you in the last 2.5 weeks. Everybody, just look at what has changed and how much has shifted in 2.5 weeks. And imagine what things are going to look like in 3 months. Imagine what they're going to look like in 5 years with that kind of exponential growth. Aw, fit for life. Thank you. Yes. You've also been awake for a really long time. So, yes, I hear that you're saying, um, so you're saying you hope that there's not going to be events, but I feel like we can create and design that to look the way we would like it to look. And I think it's an honor in a way. What I see with so many of you when you all began to wake up, the courage, the inner honor and autonomy and sovereignty that I saw growing inside of people literally overnight. Like, they learned who they were, they learned what they were made of. You can't replace that. You can tell someone what's going on in the world, but until they have to put their, money where their mouth is, until they have to actually stand against something and make a hard decision, you don't really get that feeling of, wow, this is for real. This is who I really am. And that's a gift. I remember my younger daughter saying, when I was saying to her, I would understand if she was so hard for her, right? She's in her 20s and can't go anywhere, can't be around friends, can't, a lot of jobs where she couldn't have this job, that job, this job, like she was places to live, like everything was just challenging across the board, right? And I said to her, well, I I see where you're at, and I would totally understand if you had to make that choice, and I would never hold it against you. Um, and she just looked at me and said, "Over my dead body." And it was, yeah, I saw her grow up in that instant, like, just come to life in such a beautiful way and see who she really is. Like, I already knew who she was and what she was made of, but we got to see it. It was just like, over my dead body. This is not ever going to happen. So, yeah. Thanks for letting me have a little teary moment there, everybody. This is what we are holding space for, that we have a lot more of those moments where people really discover who they are. Thank you, Lupo. Okay, we're gonna try to get this big picture back up here again. Whoa, there we are. Sunshine Greece. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. I was like, oh, I gotta wear on my grays and my blue glasses and kind of fit in here. Yeah, so lovely to be sharing with all of you. I don't know about you, but by the end of these zodiacs, I just feel so restored. And that is not me doing that. That is you sharing your gifts, your presence, your time and energy and attention. You're voting with that for yourselves. You know, when people book a reading for themselves, I always say, you've just invested in yourself. You have just given yourself a gift. So thank you all for the gift of your time and our shared experience. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Crystal and I will be doing our live Q&A, and it'll be really special to have your questions. It's always such a powerful moment. And I'll just bring you back quickly. If you just tuned in lately, I'll bring you back to all the new cool stuff on our website. So the e-zine has just been launched day before yesterday. I finally got it out, literally 8 o'clock on the 21st. I was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm working on it. So that is up, free download for everybody on the website. On the e-zine page, if you go over here to the pages, the e-zine page is right down there. And then we also have our new sessions. So we have the half-hour personalized tutoring with me, our 90-minute ancestral healings. Crystal and I are doing them together. So I've been offering these very potent experiential sessions now for about 7 or 8 years. And Crystal is bringing her specialty and her gifts into that. And we've co-created and co-designed a very powerful experience for a 90-minute session. So you can check on the read more and find out more about that. Crystal has her 1-hour sessions up available, and also her half hours, $90. This is Canadian, by the way, everybody. So pretty good if you are in the US, and better if you're in Canada too than US dollars. And finally, I'm going to bring you back over to the memberships, and you'll see that we have a couple of new options. We have the 1111 monthly unlimited, which is a month to month. So if you want to just check it out for a month, you can come in at that price point. We also have the annual, which has a 7-day free trial. And if you go to this little gift box over in the corner, up will pop a coupon that you can get 30% off that. So it works to be $77 Canadian for a 1-year membership, which gives you everything: courses, content, meditations, the e-zine, of course, the virtual events and meetups, at least 1 or 2 every month, the members community forum and marketplace, and a 15% discount on merchandise and services. And then finally, this offer over here, let's close that, 222, which is a annual membership, all the things that we just read that come with that, as well as a 1-hour tarot reading with me. And it's the only way that I'm going to do readings at this point. I'm not going to be offering them outside of the membership platform. Because as I say, I really want to get people connecting on the website as a community. And I guess I'm using a little bit of enticement to get you on over there if you were already thinking about booking a reading with me. So yeah, 222 Canadian will get you a reading with me, a 1-hour reading recorded, and also a full annual membership on the platform. So have a beautiful, gosh, I really went over today. Just got talking away. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, and we will see you here very soon. Blessings, everybody. Bye for now.